Cold front right on top of central and eastern Kentucky. It's going to usher in freezing temperatures for the weekend.
A 24-year-old woman is in jail facing charges of manslaughter and DUI after police say she caused a crash that killed a 23-year-old who was on his way home from work.
The discovery of a body in Madison County has resulted finally in an arrest, and a man is behind bars charged now with murder.
This is WKYT News at 4.
Welcome to WKYT News at 4. I'm Amber Philpott reporting. What a beautiful Friday we are seeing out there this afternoon, but colder air is working its way into the bluegrass, and it's going to make for a chilly weekend. But allergy sufferers will be glad to know it looks like we'll get our first freeze of the season. We're going to check in now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. Sad to be excited about the first freeze,
Yeah,
right?
We're going to have a couple of mornings ahead of us, Amber, with freezing temperatures into most of central and eastern Kentucky. So, yeah, the sneezing and wheezing season is coming to an end after a prolonged run. WKYT Weather Garden in the background. Notice the trees still have some leaves on them here, and the winds are whipping those around right now. Clouds are beginning to thicken back up from north to south, with temperatures dropping quickly now. It's upper 50s to around 60 into much of central and eastern Kentucky. But if you're out this evening, sun sets, cold front makes its way on through with a little bit of high cloud cover. We're going to see temperatures by 11 o'clock, upper 30s to low 40s. So a very quick drop in temperatures behind that boundary into the second half of the evening. And that front is right on top of the area. But what's happening is that colder air is lagging by just a little bit. Notice how you have that increase in clouds here into northern Kentucky, Covington, Cincinnati, toward Columbus. That's what we'll get in on over the next 2 to 3 hours. And then as that makes its way through, that cold air begins to surge on into central and eastern Kentucky. That front, as we mentioned, will usher in freezing temperatures, but your weekend continues to look really, really nice. The hour-by-hour weekend forecast when I come back in 15 minutes.
Chris, thank you. A young man is dead and a woman is in jail after a DUI crash overnight in Lexington. It happened shortly after midnight at Athens-Boonesboro Road and Hayes Boulevard. The victim, 23-year-old Robert Hattler, was on his way home from work when police say 24-year-old Alexandria Rankin ran a red light and T-boned his truck. WKYT's Hillary Thornton has reaction now from some of Hattler's friends. It's our top story at 4.
After graduating from George Rogers Clark High School in Winchester back in 2012, Robert Hattler came here to Transylvania University. Today, his close group of friends devastated by that early morning crash, now remembering the 23-year-old who they say loved being outdoors.
Robert was full of energy. He always knew how to lighten the mood or brighten somebody's day. He's a great friend to us all. It's a terrible tragedy.
Raymond Borgia and Jared Metz went to middle school, high school, and then college with Hattler. They say he was heading home from working a double shift at his family's business when the crash happened. Police say the 23-year-old was driving inbound Athens-Boonesboro Road when his truck was hit by a vehicle coming from Hayes Boulevard. That vehicle driven by 24-year-old Alexandria Rankin. Witnesses say Rankin ran a red light. She was arrested and is facing charges of manslaughter and DUI.
No one really knows how to take something like that when they hear that. It's just hard to handle and rough definitely on family and friends, and as many prayers and thoughts as I can get would be helpful beyond belief.
Rankin is expected to be arraigned on those charges on Monday. In Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
We checked. Rankin did not have any prior charges on file at the Fayette County Courthouse. And we have some new information, an update on a woman police say was driving drunk when she hit and killed 2 pedestrians over Halloween weekend. Suzanne Whitlow is now in the Fayette County Jail. The jail just released this new mugshot to us. Whitlow was in the hospital for days after the crash that killed UK employee Timothy Moore and Louisville Metro Police Detective Jason Schweitzer. She's charged with 2 counts of manslaughter and DUI and is expected to be in court on December 19th. State police have charged a Lexington man with murder. Reginald Branch is accused of killing Arnold Ford. Ford's body was found about a month ago on the side of a Lexington Road near the Clays Ferry Bridge in Madison County. We'll have more details on the ongoing murder investigation coming up for you at 5. We're working on a number of other stories for you on WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Dick joins us now from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Hello, Sam.
Good afternoon, Amber. An update now on the fight against wildfires in southeastern Kentucky. The U.S. Forest Service says that no new fires were reported yesterday in the Daniel Boone National Forest. Crews are still trying to suppress 6 fires there and patrol 13 others. Since September, there have been 28 wildfires that have burned more than 1,000 acres in the Daniel Boone National Forest. We'll have more on the wildfire situation ahead on WKYT News at 4:30. On this Veterans Day, we honor those Americans who have served our country, and to show that respect, there have been several events going on in central Kentucky today. The University of Kentucky recognized veterans this morning for their service in a special ceremony. Also this morning, 6th District Congressman Andy Barr spoke at Veterans Park in Lexington to thank veterans. And in Nicholasville, hundreds of people packed Camp Nelson National Cemetery today for a Veterans Day program. The ceremony was also held at EKU this afternoon. Several veterans spoke before holding a moment of silence. We'll have more on those ceremonies ahead on WKYT. That's a quick look at some of the news in progress on this Friday. Amber, back to you.
Sam, thanks so much. It is going to be a busy weekend for the Big Blue Nation, starting with basketball tonight. The second-ranked Wildcats open the regular season. Our Rob Bromley is live for us at Rupp Arena with a preview. Hello, Rob.
Well, Amber, we get it all going here in Rupp Arena tonight, and I'll tell you, the opponent is no slouch. Stephen F. Austin, a school out of eastern Texas, has made the NCAA tournament the last 3 years. Now, John Calipari, as you know, has another talented team, but it's very young. This is the first of 3 games in 5 days for the Cats. They play Canisius Sunday, Michigan State next Tuesday, so it's an ambitious schedule starting out.
No, we probably did overschedule. You know, you talk about some of the teams that we're playing, and, you know, even your first game is against a team that's been to 3 NCAA tournaments back to back to back, who will come in here with the idea that they're beating a young team. They got veteran players, even though they've lost some players. The players that are going to play in that game all were in the NCAA tournament the last couple of years.
All right, tip-off is set for 7 o'clock on the SEC Network as Kentucky takes on Stephen F. Austin here in Rupp Arena. And it's not the only game in town tonight. The UK women are also opening up the season. They are playing not far from here at Memorial Coliseum, and they expect a challenge, Amber, as they take on Miami, an NCAA tournament team. For now, that's it from here in Rupp. Back to you.
It is a big night for sure. Rob, thank you. The UK men's team is ranked as high as number 2 in the country. The UK women are ranked number 19. Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. The transition of presidential power continues to be uneasy. People took to the streets in protest of the election results in more than 24 cities, and the president-elect took notice. Diane Gallagher reports now from Washington.
The Trump transition is underway. Friday morning in New York, Donald Trump met with his team in private, where Vice President-elect Mike Pence was tapped to take over the transition, and sources say Republican National Committee Chair Reince Priebus is now the leading contender to serve as Chief of Staff. The political world is focusing on the nuance of a smooth transition, but thousands of Americans are still not happy.
This is what happens when you elect a fascist, racist bigot.
For the second night, large protests broke out in at least 25 cities. The majority of these marches against the election results remain peaceful, but at least 185 people were arrested in Los Angeles and in Portland, Oregon. Police say the protest turned into a riot when people smashed business windows and started fires in the streets. Trump took notice, tweeting, quote, "Just had a very open and successful presidential election. Now professional protesters incited by the media are protesting. Very unfair." By this morning, the president-elect appeared to have a change of heart. Love the fact that the small groups of protesters last night have passion for our great country. We will all come together and be proud. It's a message echoed by the president during his final Veterans Day speech in office.
The American instinct has never been to find isolation in opposite corners. It is to find strength in our common creed.
In Washington, Diane Gallagher.
Sources inside the Trump transition team say the top planning priority right now is filling the 800-plus jobs that will require a security clearance. Gift cards are a convenient gift to give, but do people really want them? That's coming up in WKYT Money Watch. And retailers are gearing up for Black Friday. Find out what they're planning ahead on WKYT.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Welcome back in. With Black Friday just 2 weeks away, retail giants Walmart, Target, and Best Buy are rolling out their plans. That begins today's Money Watch. Walmart and Target will open their doors at 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day, and Best Buy stores will open an hour earlier at 5 p.m. Best Buy will also close at 1 a.m. early Friday and reopen at 8 a.m. All three major retailers are also announcing expanded plans for digital and in-store deals. For the first time in nearly a decade, Apple is selling refurbished iPhones. The tech giant already offers pre-owned Macs and iPods. A refurbished iPhone 6s from Apple will set customers back about $450 to start. Snapchat is looking for way beyond filters. The social media company is now selling smart sunglasses. You can now buy a pair from this weird smiling yellow vending machine. The first one has been installed in California near Snapchat's headquarters. The glasses will run about $130 and feature built-in wireless video cameras. It's the company's first big move into hardware. Snapchat did not say how many vending machines they plan to install. Orbitz.com has compiled a list of the busiest airports this holiday season. The travel site predicts airports in Chicago, Atlanta, and LA will experience the most congestion and long lines. According to Orbitz, 73% of Americans plan to travel for either Thanksgiving or for Christmas. Well, it is an easy gift, but apparently it's not the right one. A new study by Bankrate.com shows half of Americans plan to give a gift card this holiday, but only 27% of people really want them. Millennial numbers are even greater. 43% say they want an actual present. Well, from Los Angeles to New York, dozens of cities across the country are installing colorful benches in their parks that do more than just draw curious stares. The environmentally friendly benches are free phone charging stations and can be Wi-Fi hotspots, all without using any electricity. Mark Albert explains.
These distinct benches are causing double takes in Washington, D.C., and that's exactly what Parks and Recreation Director Keith Anderson wants.
The goal here is to get folks outside, to enjoy our parks, stay longer.
The sofa benches, named after the Boston company that makes them, use a square solar panel in the middle to power 2 phone chargers on the front, and the Wi-Fi signal, which is free and doesn't come with a password.
Oh, it says right there,
Super
DC Wi-Fi.
There it is. And so we're connected.
Cities are really excited about it.
Sandra Richter is SUFA's CEO.
We've been actually bringing SUFA benches into low-income neighborhoods, low-income schools. We're slowly but surely starting to ship them overseas.
In fact, the 7-foot benches, which are bolted to the ground, are already in 5 countries and 65 cities. Washington, D.C. spent $7,000 on each bench and is the first city to add Wi-Fi. They just rolled them out, and residents are starting to take notice.
What do you think it is?
It looks like a heater.
Albert Gray was happy to learn the bench could charge his phone.
I think it's great.
So I just used it Friday to charge my phone.
If enough people like Tanja Perry use the benches, the city does hope to expand them in more of the capital's nearly 400 parks. Mark Albert, CBS News, Washington.
That is so innovative and useful. Besides being in 20 states in the U.S., the benches are now in Canada, Costa Rica, Germany, and Saudi Arabia.
They're serving up the veterans on this Veterans Day. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about at City Barbecue today.
And Mother Nature giving our veterans out there a wonderful weather day. As we roll our way into the weekend, I'm tracking freezing temperatures. The hour-by-hour forecast will break it all down up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Cold front is right on top of the Bluegrass State now, and it's ushering in the first true widespread freeze of the season coming up over the next couple of mornings. And that front is again across the Ohio Valley. High pressure anchoring itself on top of Minnesota. We're on the cold side of that, so those northerly winds are going to crash on in here as the evening wears on. Already dropping it into the 30s across parts of the Great Lakes. No, this isn't just an extraordinarily cold air mass, but it is cold air than where we have been for a while. Temperatures this afternoon tickling 60 on a few thermometers with enough sunshine. Now the winds are cranking up. We're getting those gusts closing in on 20, 25 miles an hour. Sustained winds right now. Lexington at 16. Heading down to Rupp Arena. It is basketball time in the Bluegrass now. For the trip back home after you're heading out of Rupp, temperatures by then, 9, 10 o'clock or so, 40 to 45, and in most areas, chilly, and it is still windy, but it's a dry trip home no matter which direction you are heading from downtown Lexington. Cold high pressure working its way on into town. Cold front's actually on top of the region now, but the front, or the cloud cover behind the front, is where we're seeing the leading edge of the really colder air, and that is just off to the northwest of us. So as the evening wears on, you'll notice a little more in the way of some cloud cover. Then all of a sudden the clouds get out of the way, setting the stage for temperatures tomorrow morning to go below freezing. It's upper 20s to around 30. 45 to 50 tomorrow afternoon. Colder in the northeast, low 50s the farther west that you go when you're watching us as of right now. Again, everybody gets the sunshine. Tomorrow evening, though, it is a quick drop in temperatures, a cold one for your Saturday, into the low 30s by the time 11 o'clock Saturday evening rolls around. Tomorrow morning, again, areas below freezing. Into noontime tomorrow, mid-40s will show up. Upper 40s to right around 50, give or take a degree or two tomorrow afternoon with plenty of sunshine. 8 o'clock, sun is set, obviously. Colder winds continue to blow with upper 30s into town. How about this at 11 tomorrow night? Low 30s, that will show up, and then it's game on for a hard freeze into Sunday morning with 20s across the entire area. Sunday afternoon looks really, really good. Winds will gust up a little bit, mostly sunny skies, temperatures that will be into the 50s. Long-range forecast early next week. It's an unsettled period, and any day from Monday through Wednesday can produce a shower, but any day can also be completely dry. If you catch our drift here, with temperatures generally into the 50s, end of next week, we're going to jump up those temperatures into the 60s on a gusty wind ahead of a very strong cold front, and a week from now, we are likely tracking a 30 to 40 degree drop in temperatures moving into the region. Right now, let's track the traffic at Officer Don.
One problem on Nicholasville Road, but it looks like it's not a wreck. It's a stalled car, and this is outbound Nicholasville Road near Reynolds. One lane is blocked. That's a bad place for it, but traffic backing up approaching the circle. Drive time so far this afternoon to Versailles 13 minutes, to Winchester about 26, and Richmond 24. Now back to you in the studio.
Many different area businesses are remembering and celebrating veterans on this Veterans Day. Deanne Stevens is out and about. She joins us from City Barbecue, where they are cooking up a feast for those who have served. Hi, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We are here at City Barbecue on Richmond Road, where they are serving up some very cool things today, all to honor our special veterans. We have Terry Height, who is with us, and I said, don't stop. You've got your dinner crowd about to come in here, and they want their food. Don't let them get mad at me right now. Yes, this is a special day that you guys are honoring veterans.
Absolutely. What we do is we really appreciate our veterans, and we want them to come out and show appreciation for us, and we're gonna feed them today.
It's as simple as that. Come on out and you're feeding them, right?
Absolutely. The sandwich on us, 2 sides of their choice. Any sandwich they want, it's going to be on us all day today.
Talk about why that's so important for you as a manager, A, to recognize, and B, as a company.
Well, 2 things. For me personally, my son just turned 18, and he's going into the Army. So my father served, so I'm kind of passionate about it in general. As a company, we are very appreciative of anybody that served our country and puts, their needs behind to take care of us and take care of, protect us, and that means a lot to us.
And I know it's great for you guys to do, but isn't it a great feeling that so many other companies across the country are doing the same now, and everybody's stepping up and honoring those?
Absolutely. It's growing, and this idea that, don't forget about us, and make sure that just because maybe we're not in uniform right now doesn't mean that we didn't do our part, and these guys matter to us, and I think the more we reach out to them, the more we continue to grow that community and that bonding, right? It's just only going to be great.
Now, today isn't the only day that you honor those in uniform, though. Tell us about that.
That's correct. Any first responders, anyone in uniform, police officers right here, firefighters, EMS, and any military personnel that comes through, they're going to eat on me at my joint every day.
Fantastic. Well, City Barbecue, located on Richmond Road, is the one doing that. Many companies across the country here in Lexington honoring veterans on this Veterans Day. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Happy Veterans Day. Back to you guys.
Deanne, thank you. Ahead in Better Living, the 3 risk factors that may predict whether a child will become overweight and how your birth year affects your vulnerability to the flu. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $65 million, and tomorrow night's Powerball jackpot is $258 million. It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. It turns out the year you were born can impact how sick you get during flu season. Researchers discovered your birth year plays a major role in how vulnerable you are to the flu. A new study found people born before 1968 were likely exposed to a flu virus belonging to the first of two groups, and they are much less likely in adulthood to catch other strains within that group. Those born after 1968 appear to be protected against the second group. A study in the journal Pediatrics found 3 important predictors for whether a child will become overweight or obese. Researchers found that children whose mothers smoke during pregnancy, who skip breakfast, and who don't have a regular bedtime are more likely to have an unhealthy weight. The study concluded early intervention could help children maintain a healthy weight. A new study questions whether pregnant women need iron supplements if they already have sufficient levels. Doctors linked high levels of iron to an increased risk of gestational diabetes. They found women with the highest levels of iron had 2.5 times the risk of developing the disease than those with the least. And if you're already making your list and checking it twice, the top gifts for 2016 are out. Now, if you have a 3 to 5-year-old, pick up a singing Princess Elena, and a Nintendo quadcopter is perfect for older children over the age of 9. That's according to Toy Insider magazine. We want to head over to Chris now for another check of the weather, and he is a guy that I know is in love with Christmas and just itching to get going.
Yeah, but what could go wrong with a gift like that, huh? I think we need one of those back here in the weather office. Just fly it around on the set here. Yeah, love my Christmas time, and here we are. We just need to start feeling and looking a little more like it. Freeze on the way this weekend. Sky out of Jackson, Breathitt County, and similar to yesterday, not seeing as much smoke in the air, so really good news there. The rains a few days ago helped. The problem is it's still very, very dry, and new fires are going to, unfortunately, pop up into the weekend and early next week. Right now, Lexington, blue skies with a little more cloud cover creeping on into town. Notice the trees are doing a little dance there in the distance. That's because winds are gusting up ahead of a cold front that will usher in the coldest air of this young fall season for the weekend. When I come back in a few minutes, we'll talk about the freeze threat and look long range at the 7-day forecast. WKYT News at 4:30 starts now.